pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Mash. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
News reports don't change the world. Only facts change it. And those have already happened when we get the news. That's according to Friedrich Darnemerat. Blessed Tuesday afternoon, our dear journtastic learners. I hope everybody is doing fine. I hope that despite the scorching heat that we are feeling right now, we are all doing well. This is true. This is Tutor War. Together with me is Tutor Zen and Tutor Joza. Welcome to DepEd's ETUlay Campus Journalism for Beginners. Again, I hope that we are all excited of today's event. I hope that we are really much eager and we are really into it or into this activity today. Ayan. So let me just hear our journtastic learners in our chat box. So how are you po, our dear journtastic learners? Let me just read some shout outs before we start our session today. I know some of you are really wanting to hear your names to be heard in this session kasi I know that we are all happy to be here today. So let us start off. Let us get our hi and hello to Precious Gail Carino from Caloocan High School, Marville Carrascal, Mary Ferdale Del Rosario, Rome Arca, Maria Elizabeth Padilla, hello. Good afternoon to John Escoton, Micaela Dua Dua, Talia Raven, Clarice Morales, Aliyah Bakiran. Hello to Gabriel Luis Guanyo. Ayan, Michael J. Pasion. Hello as well to Rona Jane Rupenta from Ocampo National High School. Hello, Rona. Good afternoon to Arian Isabel Sebastian, Dave Owen, Mactal Carl Jerwin Aguilar. Good afternoon to Ruther Leon Uy. Ayan, and to from the city of Boga Senior High School, Rena Van Nids Pogado. Sorry, Rena, for mispronouncing your name. Ayan. Hello as well to Mark Julian Malang. Hello, Angelica. Hello as well to Mia Principe, Hannah Grace De Jos, Gabriel Guanyo, Riza, Baria, and Michael Passion. Ayan, so everybody is really excited onto today's session. Let me just see a thumbs up button or a heart emoji for me to see if you are really indeed excited into today's session, because we are really excited to be with you today. Ayan, so even the fact, or despite the fact that we are really busy with some tasks in our respective schools, Tutor Zen and Tutor Josa is with us today. Ayan, I am seeing already some hearts and some heart from Ocampo National High School. Desi Rivera Rojo. Ayan. So, with your hearts, we are more energized to proceed on to today's discussion. Now, aren't you excited seeing the checks that we have already accomplished on this third quarter? I'm really excited that we are now already on our week number 7. And today we shall be working with the news and its basic structure. So I hope that last week you have gained a lot of information and a lot of knowledge when it comes to crafting different kinds of leads. No, so I know that we are really into the session last week. Ayan. So I hope that you are still with us today as we progress with this discussion or lessons for the third quarter. But before that, let me present to you our objectives for today. At the end of the session, you, our journtastic learners, are expected to: one, define news; two, identify different characteristics, elements, and basic structures of writing news; and number three, adhere to the paragraph rules and news writing. And of course, before we proceed, we would like to commend first some of our journtastic students as they have presented their works to us. So let us give our congratulations to our Week 5 Student Journalist of the Week in the name of James M. Maswangat from UMS 11 Aristotle, City of Bogo Senior High School. Again, our congratulations to James. James, congratulations for a job well done in week number 5. Of course, we will also commend our week 6 journtastic student from Ocampo National High School in, in the name of May Angela San Juan. Ayan, so congratulations, May Angela, for a job well done in the week 6 activity. I hope our journtastic learners today would also be participative when it comes to submitting your work. Hello, James, congratulations with our activity today. I know that you are too excited to have our session today. But of course, we shall have first a short game. Ayan. So our game for today is entitled Word Search. Ayan. So assume that you haven't encountered any word search activity yet in your life. Ayan. But this one is a different thing. What you are going to do is just to give me words that you can find in this set of jumbled letters. So what I would like you to do is just to type in any word that you may see. It may be horizontally, it may be found vertically, diagonally, but of course you cannot jumble the letters and then put them together lang so that you can able to come up with the word. Of course, we would love to hear from you guys of how well your eyes are in searching for the word. So I have here now the sample words, and what I would like you to do is to find words that you can come up with. Ayan, I have seen some answers coming from Mark Anthony Sinfuego. He said balance. Okay, let's see if there's balance later on. According to John Carla, we have a she has seen factual. According to James, we have balance as well. Shira saw factual as well. Alia Kate saw factual. Rovik, Genevieve, Riza saw balance. Dave Owen saw timely. Jamil Marish saw concise. Very good. Let's see. Judy saw balance as well. Andre saw factual, timely for Clarice, balance for Axel. Ayan. So a lot of balance, factual, concise, uh, prominence. Okay. We have the factual, balance, timely. Ayan. So congratulations for having good sight. You know what, ng mga anak, no? As you grow older, somehow, no, we are having difficulty to see things, little things in our, with using with our keen eyes only. But of course, we have to ask some help from our friends, our eyeglasses. But congratulations. Let's see if some of the words that you have mentioned are really can be found on this jumbled words. Ayan. So I have seen students mentioning that they have seen balance, prominence, we have the factual, we have the timely, we have the concise, and the oddity. Ayan. So these are the terms that we shall be encountering as we progress with our lesson today. So let us now understand how do these words has something to do with our discussion today. For today, together with Tutor Zen and Tutor Josa, I am Tutor War. We will be working with news writing. But first, let us have first a definition of what news writing is all about. News is a timely and factual narration of past, present, and future events. That is according to Siciliano Jose Cruz. So news is not only about what is happening at the present time. Based on the definition of Sir Cruz, no, Dr. Cruz, news is not only about the present time. It also talks about the past event and the future events. So everything that would give us information is considered as news. Mga anak, there is nga sa according also to Dr. Cruz from what I have read from one of his books, journalism book, news can stand for as well to north, east, west, south. Meaning to say, everywhere we go, anywhere it would be, news is present. Again, we can connect that regardless that the news happened in the past or the news will happen in the present or in the future or the news is happening now. As long as it talks about the narration of factual and timely event, we are talking about news. Okay? In addition, according to Rachel Ekan, news is an accurate and timely account of idea, issue, or event that affects a significant number of people. So when we talk about news, it doesn't only talk about uh, one people being able to be affected by a certain information, but it's like a domino effect. If one is being affected, definitely, if he transfer the information to the next one, another person would also be affected by the news that has been absorbed, no, that has been transferred to him or to her. So basically, you have to remember still that news is an accurate and a timely account of idea. So when we talk about accurate, when we talk about timely, we have to talk about data. We need to have accurate, consistent set of information. It shouldn't be based on hearsay lang. In short, ang ating mga kumaring marites should not be part of a news, of the real news ha, kasi there are fake news. You know for a fact there are a lot of fake news that is really roaming around not only in the social media but also around us. But you have to be you have to discern which is more important and which is real and which is not. Alin lang ba doon yung nagbibigay sa inyo ng growth and improvement? Alin lang ba doon yung nagbibigay sa inyo ng negative thought? So we have to be aware of which news must be accepted into the system. Speaking of which, we shall be working with the characteristics of a news. So, how are we going to know if a news article is indeed reliable? It's indeed acceptable. First, it must be accurate. Just like what I have mentioned, no, it must be based from data. Okay? It shouldn't be based from hearsay. It shouldn't be based from, kasi sinabi lang ni ganito, kasi nakita niya, kasi base sa pagkaka-interpret niya, ito yan. It shouldn't be like that. When we talk about accurate, you ask question and answer can be immediately be transmitted to you. Yun ang accuracy. Kapag sinabi niyang oo, di oo. Pag sinabi niyang hindi, hindi. Next one, it must be objective. When we talk about objective, it must be balanced. Even if your stand is against that thing or that certain issue, as a news writer, you shouldn't put your personal perspective on that matter. You should be balanced. You have to look onto the two sides of the coin. You always need to look on the positive and the negative side of it. Hindi pwedeng because, this is what I want. That's one of the responsibility of a journalist. Hindi natin i-insist, excuse me, to the people who will be watching us or who will be reading our work na ito yung binibilib natin. But we have to give them an thoughts or different accounts of the news that you are about to write. No, especially if you will be working with editorial kind of news. No, but of course, with the news article itself, it must be based on data alone. Timely, of course, you have to uh have news articles in the present time or yung napapanahon. That's the term in Tagalog, no, napapanahon. Of course, especially now that we are working with, naman alaga na that election news is really into our television, are really into our newspapers, are really into our social media account. No, so that's why you have to take advantage of it and understand, read, learn what is the news about elections. No, hindi lang because you are in favor of this certain candidate, you will not take a look into the account of the other candidates. We have to be balanced. Okay? Next, of course, concise. Okay? You have to make sure na ano siya, yung idea na ibibigay mo, kahit yan konti, pero dapat yan enough. No, it must be able to get into the system of the people you are working with or you trying to reach out with. Dapat yan talagang specific. Dapat yan hindi mo sasabihin na hindi yan pwedeng sabihin na kasi mukhang ganito, dahil mukhang ganito. It shouldn't be like that. It must be concise. Next one, of course, balance. So can connect that, of course, with objectivity. And then, of course, you have to be factual. Everything that you will be working with news must be based from facts. It could be in a first degree kind of evidence. It could be in a second degree kind of evidence. As long as we are talking about facts. Ayan, during this election time, I keep on hearing this one and seeing this one into our social media accounts that we must be trustworthy of facts. No, we have to understand how facts works. Ayan. So I hope that you have gotten already some characteristics of a news article. Of course, no. Again, you shouldn't let the fake news blind you kasi they would offer you good and sweet words. But eto yung nawawala. So you have to make sure that these sweet words would not be really put onto the top of your list, but instead of you take a look onto this seven characteristics, six rather, six characteristics of news. Moving forward, we are now about to enter to the elements of a news. And what are these? So we have what we call the prominence. So when we talk about prominence, it deals with anything which is familiar to or of importance to the readers. Okay? The question is it worth reading for ba yung news na sinusulat mo? What will I gain if I read your article? So when we talk about prominence, you have to deal of course kung saan mas mapapadaling maintindihan ng reader what you are trying to work on. Of course, no, like today, election, most of the news are really about election kasi everybody can relate to it. If you will be talking about other topics like halimbawa for today, no, uh, uh, divorce or yung legal separation, legality of divorce in the Philippines, medyo hindi siya ganoon mabibigyan ng atensyon because we are in the election, ano nga tawag dito, election feels. So, better yet, you go to the election kind of articles. Ayan. The next one is what we call the proximity. When we talk about proximity, it is about the nearness of the events to the reader. Like for example, no, uh, are we going to be affected by this news or this event? Like for instance, the ones that's happening between Russia and ano to? I forgot the other country. Basta the Russia, ayan, and the other country. Sorry, no, I forgot to mention the name. Ayan. Uh, are we going to be affected by the actions and reactions of the people there? Ano kaya mangyayari if we will not be mindful of what's happening there? O kung may pakialam ba tayo, what will happen to us? Ayan. Okay? So you have to make sure no na yung proximity ng news na binabalita natin would be of course would definitely deals doon sa needs ng ating mga readers. Okay, so of course, halimbawa, you are living in the city and then you keep on writing about agriculture. Ayan, Russia and Ukraine. Thank you, Axel. So sometimes, no, medyo may nakakalimutan na si ma'am. Ayan, si Tutor War, no? So, kapag ganun, you will be keep on talking about agriculture, and the news that you are presenting is in the metro. I don't think people would really into that unless you are part of the agriculture world. Bakit? Kasi people, the target audience that you are working with ay hindi naman ganoon ka-dwell into agriculture. So, ito yung sinasabi na proximity. Okay? So, gaano ba maaapektuhan yung mga tao when they read your work, when they read your news article. Okay, so I hope that you are getting me. And of course, the next one is the immediacy. So this is the timeliness of the event. The question is here, how urgent the news is. No? Ano yung urgency niya for this news to be needed to be spread? Like, 'di ba nga, if you are watching news broadcast, you will see merong mga flash report. Meaning to say, these are the real-time news news report that needed to be discerned to its readers and its audience. So, gaano ba ka-importante yan? O halimbawa, for instance, knock on the wood, pumutok yung Taal volcano. We know for a fact that at this moment it is trying to erupt, no, nagbubuga na siya ng mga usok niya. So meaning to say, anytime here there's a possibility that the Taal volcano may erupt. So gaano yung immediacy na yan yung tinatawag na gaano ka-urgent yan na dapat people would know your news, no, yung news na isusulat mo. Okay, so that's how you work on this. Next one is what we call the oddity. So this consists of many unusual or deviation from the normal course of events. Ito na yung tinatawag namin na when you write an article, these are what we call the angles, different angles. So for instance, you are looking at me now. Ayan, ito yung tinatawag naming frontal view. Okay? But the oddity is, you may look me, or as a writer, you may see me now in a different way. Depending, of course, on how you would want me, or you want me, you want, uh, it depends on how do you wish me to see me. Parang ganun, paano mo ako gustong makita. Ayan, parang ganun siya. Okay, so that's what we mean by oddity, because the oddity now would give you a different twist on the story. If everybody is reporting about the frontal view, ano pa ang pagkakaiba nun, o what makes that different doon sa ibang article? How am I going to read your article if the same view lang yung nakikita ko from the angle that other writer has written? So as a writer, you should look onto the unusual thing that you are seeing on the news that you are writing. I hope that I'm making sense on this one, no? So parang ganun siya. What makes your article different from the others? Paano mo ko ngayon nakita? From the frontal view that you are seeing me, how do you see me? Diba? So yun. So that's how we mean by oddity. And of course, the last one is, of course, the human interest. It deals with events which are appealing to the emotion. Eh, ma'am, sabi mo, it's a news article. It must be based from facts. Yes, it must be based from facts. But then, of course, remember that the news articles that you are about to write must also get the attention of your readers. Kasi if you will not make your work interesting, especially in the lead part, in the lead paragraph, people will no longer read your work. Ayan, 'di ba? So sabi nga nung minsan sa isang ano namin, no, sa isang seminar namin, ang headline, ano, bata kina ano, bata kinagat ang aso. So that a human interest, no? Kasi it's unusual na ang bata ang kumakagat sa aso, kasi most of the time it's the aso, it's the dog who bites the a human or a girl. 'Di ba? So yun yung human interest na tinatawag. It must be able to appeal, no? How will I be affected by this news article? Okay? So it's gonna be a motion based kind of news. The next one is, of course, the significance. It refers not only to the importance of the event, but also on how it will affect the readers. So it's same as with the human interest, but this one, yung long-term effect, no? Baka pwedeng makapag-isip. Baka dito, once they have read your work, they will try, or they can change their mind. Ayan. So, dito yung tinatawag nating significance. How am I going to be affected with this one? Gaano ba kahalaga for me to read your work? How am I going to become a better individual after I have read your work, or after I have read this news article? May mga ganong factor when we talk about significance. Okay, so you have to make sure na yung article mo, of course, just like what we mentioned a while ago din, no, may relevance siya doon sa target audience mo, plus of course doon sa gusto mong long-term effect of the article that you have written, yung gaano siya makakatulong doon sa tao. Ayan, how they will be able to, or also of course doon din sa article na sinulat. Okay, so I hope that I have already give you some of the basic elements of a news. So again, we have the prominence, we have the proximity, the immediacy, we have the oddity, we have the human interest, and of course, we have the significance. Now, let's now go to the basic structures of a news article. Ayan. So, primarily, when we talk about the structure of a news article, we are working with what we call the inverted triangle, or the inverted pyramid pattern. So when we talk about the inverted pyramid, definitely, as you can see, the base of the work, or the base of the article is on top, as you can see, you will see that you will have the main or the primary lead. So this is usually a short paragraph which answers at least four of the five W's and one issue. This one has been discussed last week. And then, of course, you have the secondary lead, which is the complement of the main lead. And, of course, the remaining parts are the ones less important data that gives flesh to the story. As you can see from the top, no, from the biggest one, it goes down into the smaller bits of information. Ma'am, magiging ano pa rin ba yan? Relevant pa rin ba yung mga news even they are at the bottom part? Definitely. Diba? Everything that you put into your work, no, everything that you will put into your work would definitely gives an added information from what you have written from the top. Even the ones that you have written in the middle would definitely affect the entire news article. So that's why you have to be concise, diba? Sabi nga natin, kahit maiksi lang yan, but you have to be specific with everything that you have written on your work. Kasi everything that you will put there would make a chain effect. Ayan. So, dapat yan, make sure that the primary lead would definitely connects to the secondary lead, which would also be connected to the other important details and which will be connected as well to the most important details. So, it's a chain effect. It's not only about the pyramid, but also it must be in a chain effect. Okay? So, pag sinabing chain, kapati-kapatid, dugtong-dugtong, you cannot break them kasi one is as important as the others. Ayan. So let's now go to the rules in paragraph construction of a news writing. So these are the basics, no? A paragraph of a news should not exceed to 75 words. Ayan. So, mamang hirap naman nun. Should we count pa ba? Ganyan, ganyan. Somehow, but of course, no, may tinatawag kahit kasi sa news article na one sentence, one paragraph ruling. And then, nandito yun sa last part actually. But pasadahan ko na. And then of course, no, important facts should be placed at the beginning of the paragraph. Why is it so? Because the more the more interesting the story is that you will put on top of your work or into the lead paragraph would lead your audience or your readers continue to read your work. Again, syempre, if they find your work really boring and uninteresting, hindi na sila magpo-proceed to read your work. Ayan. And next one, of course, no, avoid repetition of clauses, phrases, and other similar grammatical structures at the beginning of each paragraph. So, of course, no, if you have already used in addition, yung mga tinatawag nating mga transitional signals, you shouldn't use that already next on the next sentences or the next set of paragraphs. Then, of course, if you have already mentioned a certain information at the beginning of your work, you shouldn't repeat it at the last part. But there will be some instances that past events can be connected or can be added to the last part of the paragraph to see that there is indeed a connection from the past and the present event. Ayan. Of course, do not put direct quotation and indirect quotation in the same paragraph. When we talk about direct quotation, these are the exact words that the people that we have interviewed in have said. And then when we talk about indirect, these are the ones that I have already revised. So, for example, sinabi kong direct quotation, I am happy. So, I put the quotation mark and I said, Princess says that she is happy. Oh, yeah. No, Prince or I am happy, Princess says. Quotation mark. But when you do an indirect or indirect, princess says that she is happy. So yung iba naiiba yung connotation yun. Okay? But then the same banana pa rin. Next one sentence paragraph is preferred in writing news, but if it cannot be avoided, it should be exceed 3 sentences. There are some instances no na lumalagpas doon sa one sentence, one paragraph ruling na tinatawag. But then again, there will be always some exemptions to the rules that there is a need for a paragraph or a sentence can be exceeded to one or to two. Yes, so for easy reading, average number of words per sentence should between 15 to 20. A longer sentence or sentence longer than 30 words may be hard to understand. Kaya tayo doon sa ruling ng news, no, na one sentence, one paragraph para yung attention span of the readers will not break. Kasi 'di ba not everybody is really into reading, but when they go to the ano no, but when they read news, because nga limited lang yung naka-number. May question dito. Ma'am, ask ko lang po, papo ba ang quotation sa mga sikat na tao? Micah, depende yon sa kung ano yung, if the quotation that you will be putting is importante talaga doon sa news article that you will be writing. Ayan, halimbawa, kung sinabi ni President, ang tawag dito, President Duterte or President Lacson, for instance, sinabi niya, I have written here, Senator Lacson expressed his interest of running as president. Tapos may direct quote ako, I want to continue serving Filipino people with my platforms and advocacy. I know it will be the Filipino lives will become more comfortable, he said. So doon siya pumapasok. Eh, kasi importante yung ano niya, importante yung direct quotations niya to support doon sa advocacy niya or to sa plan niya to run into the seat of the presidency. Ayan. So, yun doon siya papasok. Okay? Next one is to arrange the paragraphs in the descending order of the importance so that the layout editor can delete the most or the last or the least important ones for the lack of space. So there are some spaces, no, you have mentioned, we have talked about the layouting, no. So sometimes there is a need for ano no, paiksiin yung mga paragraphs. Ayan, yung mga writers ko, sabihin nila, Ma'am, I have written two bond papers. Tapos ang lalabas lang doon sa newspaper nila is like 6 paragraphs lang. Ano nangyari, ma'am? Bakit ganon? Kasi nga there is a problem for we need to compact the space, and of course pag sabi ko kasi some of the information there is no longer important as what we have compiled, no, yun talagang yun lang. So sabi ko sa nila yun lang talaga siya. So okay lang yun, no, baka ma-disappoint kayo, sabihin nyo baka mangyari din sa inyong sa mga advisor niyo, sabihin niyo sa mga advisors niyo, sa SPAs niyo, "Ma'am, ba't gano'n? Nagsulat ako 4 na bond papers. Ano pa, one single spaces pa, pero pagdating sa sa ano, sa newspaper, isang column lang." 1/4 of the column lang, no? So, ano kasi yon, there are a lot of instances that the SPA or the editor-in-chief needs, or the EIC, no, needs to do in order to make your newspaper more convenient to read, more appealing, ayan. Tsaka para mas madaling maintindihan what you are trying to say on a certain news article. Ayan. So I hope that you have learned something from today's discussion. Medyo mabilis lang, no? Kasi we are really bombarded with a lot of information, and we can really work on this one in just 40 minutes. But I have tried my best to give you the best explanation I could for this discussion or for this lesson. Okay, for this week's Jointastic task of the week. So what I want you to do, mga mahal, is to screenshot this paragraph. And what I would like you to do is to create a news article based on the information or based on the paragraph that you are seeing on your screen today. And that is what you are going to pass to us onto our next session. Ayan. So basically, the title of our work is I Write, I Inform. So just like with our news articles, no, we are being informed of what's new, what's really happening to the events or what's happening around us. So we have to make sure that we are well aware of what's happening around us. So again, take a screenshot, and what I would like you to do is to take note of the elements, characteristics of what we have discussed today, and put this one in a concrete news article. Mom, should we need to write a title? Definitely. Okay, so the SVA must be there, no? So subject, verb, and transitive verbs. So you have to make sure you have your subject, your transitive verb, and the object, so that you could have to make you in order for you to make a comprehensive title and of course news article. And of course, before that, let me just remind you to kindly post your work into the web page of facebook.com/groups dash it to like. We are really excited to hear and read your works, our dear journtastic learner. Ayan. So for our reference today is from the Campus Journalism and the New Generation by Jelly Eligio Alcunyo into a 2011 edition. Ayan. So thank you for today. Thank you for being with us. Up next, mga anak, please join the e-teatro class for you will be learning new trends or you will learn new trends and new tricks when it comes to theater arts. Ayan, ako, gusto ko talaga to. This is one of my passion, being part of the theater club since I was in elementary and high school and of course when I was in college. Ayan. So thank you for joining us today. This has been Tutor War together with Tutor Zem, Tutor Josa, and of course our program head, Tutor Nova. I'm wishing everybody be safe. Thank you, mga anak. Always remember to be happy and don't forget to smile. Please be a blessing to everyone. Let's pray for successful and peaceful election. And of course, let's pray for the reconciliation and peaceful reconciliation between Russia and Ukraine. God bless. Be safe. See you next week.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!